mentors. Trey, I am so happy to have you joining us today. Welcome. And first, before we get into the draft, tell us a little bit more about this partnership.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm super excited and really proud to be partnered with Old Spice now. They're and like you said, their partnership with Big Brother, Big Sister, putting a spotlight on mentorship. I mean, it means so much to me just because I know I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in today without the mentors of my life. You know, whether it was Carson Wentz, Easton Stick, coaches, teammates, or just people in the communities I grew up in. So their commitment to empowering the youth and helping them build confidence has meant a lot to me. That's why I'm so proud. And obviously, you can visit BigDraft21.com and learn a little bit more about it.
So, Trey, there is now, as you probably know, a groundswell of speculation that you will go third to the 49ers. Are you or your representatives hearing that is the case?
No, I still really haven't heard anything at this point. I wish I could tell you that I knew something and I wasn't allowed to tell you, but I really don't know yet. So hopefully the next, obviously, 12 hours, I find out a little bit more.
Would you like to go to the 49ers at number 3?
I would like to go to any organization that wants me. I'm just looking for an opportunity and a chance to get my foot in the door.
The reports were that you, John Beck, who's a former who played quarterback under the Shanahan's in Washington, put you through some drills, gave you some of the terminology. So when you had your second pro day, when Kyle and John Lynch came down to look at you, Kyle Shanahan, the head coach of the 49ers, John Lynch, the general managers. Do you feel comfortable? How comfortable did you feel in this offense? Because I played a lot of years in this offense, and I know what the quarterback can do with your athleticism, your skill set, how special you can be in this offense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more familiar with it, from a, I guess, fan standpoint, honestly, than from a, all 22 cut-up standpoint. But I've learned, obviously, a lot about football and obviously what Coach Shanahan has done with offenses in the last few years, over the last 6-7 months for me. So I've learned a ton about it, obviously, and a ton about, other offenses. And yeah, like you mentioned, John Beck has been an awesome resource for me, learned a ton from him. And obviously he's done it and played the position at the highest level. So he's a great resource and mentor for me as well.
Who would you say Trey Lance's game most resemble in the current NFL? Who do you model your game after anyone?
Yeah, I try not to put myself in the box of one guy because, any guy I'm going to say at this point has kind of earned respect and done what they need to do and earn respect in the league. And that's something that obviously I want to do is establish myself at some point in the league. I watch a ton of football, obviously a ton of quarterback play. So, Russell Wilson, Dak, Deshaun, those are 3 guys. Obviously Carson is another one. But we'll watch a ton of guys. And I kind of leave it to you guys to kind of put me in that box, whatever you guys want to say as far as comparisons go.
So, Trey, what I love the most about you is your chip on your shoulder. You obviously grew up in the small town of Marshall, Minnesota, a town about 15,000, maybe 150 or so miles west of Minneapolis. And I know you grew up wanting to play quarterback for the University of Minnesota. You went to a recruiting function in February, I think it was 2017. And what happened? Why didn't they want you to play quarterback at Minnesota?
So, yeah, that was right after the coaching change at the University of Minnesota. And they were really honest with me. And I tell everyone that I'm super thankful just that they were honest and upfront about them not seeing me as a fit to play quarterback at the University of Minnesota. They wanted me, obviously, to play a different position. For me, I knew I was a quarterback at that point, so it's kind of a thank you but no thank you situation. But like I said, was just thankful for the honesty and the bluntness of the conversation.
And how driven are you because of that?
Yeah, it was definitely, like I said, a chip on my shoulder. And I think that's one thing that's special about North Dakota State is it's a school and a team full of guys that had the same situation, teams that they grew up, their dream schools didn't want them. So I think that's one thing that is unique about North Dakota State for sure.
Trey, this draft process that you're going through right now, what teams try to do, they pick you apart and tell you all the reasons why you shouldn't be drafted, where you're going to be drafted. What is one of the biggest misconceptions that you've heard about Trey Lance?
Not necessarily misconception because I have played 17 games. I'm 20 years old, things like that. But for me, those are things that I can't control. So I don't really worry about them and those concerns that people have. For me, this whole draft process and meetings and everything like that has just been about showing people and showing teams exactly who I am and what I'm about. That's the most important thing to me. I want teams to know exactly, what they're getting when they draft me.
Are you the best quarterback in this draft?
Yeah, I believe so. And I'm sure that every single other quarterback in this draft will tell you the same thing. But I also know that this draft class is really special. And I hope for the best for all those guys. And obviously, I've gotten to know some of them through the last 6-7 months. But yeah, I think this draft class, not only at quarterback, but overall is going to be really, really special.
And where did your drive to become a film junkie start? Because I've read that even in your redshirt freshman year at North Dakota State, you were studying, breaking down NFL game tape. Has that been with you since high school?
Yeah, I think my dad kind of instilled that in me. He's the same way, just a film junkie as far as, anything goes. And for me, it was just wanting to learn as much as I possibly could, as much about football, as I possibly could. So I definitely did that, I think, over my time at North Dakota State and even going back, a few years before that. But yeah, I think my dad was the one that instilled it in me, and it's one thing that I'm definitely thankful for now.
And by the way, your dad played cornerback in the Canadian Football League, and then he played for the London Monarchs in the World League. So he was a big football influence on you, I guess, early on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. He taught me, everything I know about just being a competitor.
Trey, you've only thrown 318 passes. You mentioned you started 17 games. Trey Lance ready to step in from day one and start. What if teams told you, are you prepared to sit for a year, or do you want to start right away, or are you going to leave it up to the team, or you're just going in there and say, look, I'm going to just do what I do, and we're going to let the chips fall where they may?
Yeah, exactly what you said. You already know. I'm going to go in there and first things first, learn as much as I possibly can, earn respect from, everyone in the organization, my teammates, treat people the right way and do things the right way. And at that point, like I said, I'm going to be ready to go, whether it's week 1 or week 5 or whatever it is. And I understand there's different situations that I could be put into tonight. And I'm just looking forward to it. Like I said, getting my foot in the door and having an opportunity to be a part of a great organization.
So, Trey, you obviously ran for a lot of yards for North Dakota State, and you ran over a lot of little cornerbacks who happened to get in your way before the goal line. How much of that do you think you'll be able to do in the National Football League?
Yeah, I'll definitely have to be smart about picking and choosing my battles. There have obviously been plenty of coaching staff that have mentioned that. I think my biggest thing is obviously understanding situations, and I think I did a good job of that in college as far as, when to lower my shoulder, when not to. Obviously, if it's a 1st and 10 situation, it's a lot different than a 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 situation. If it's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, I probably am going to tell you I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to go get that first down for my team. But I definitely understand the situation and the longevity at the quarterback position.
If I draft Trey Lance, what exactly am I getting?
You're getting a competitor, someone who's going to come in and learn and treat people the right way. Just excited, like I said, just to have an opportunity to be in this league and kind of live out my dreams, and also understanding that this is kind of just the beginning. This is just the start of the first chapter, the next chapter for me. But like I said, yeah, a competitor, I'm going to come in and compete regardless of the situation and embrace my role, whatever it is, for as long as that is, whether it's 1 week or 12. Learn as much as I possibly can and get around my teammates and get to know as many people as I possibly can.
Good luck, bro. Good luck.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Thank you.
Minnesota's very own